by introducing everybody and saying a few things about the fight. On my right, former IBF, current WO world champion Joe Calzaghe. Next to him, Ross Greenberg, and next to him, Kerry Davis of HBO. On my left, legendary Danish promoter Mogens Palle. Next to him, Mikkel Kessler, the WBA and WBC world champion, and next to him, legend in his own lunchtime, Mike Marley, and finally, J-Love. This is the fight that everyone has been waiting for, and like all great fights today, they cannot happen unless the television broadcasters step up. And in this instance, we have to thank Ross and Kerry for their imagination and guts in making this happen. Without them, it couldn't happen. So we need to thank HBO because, as I say, without them, this wouldn't be happening. The venue, as you know, is the Millennium Stadium in Cardiff. The date is November the 3rd. We are hoping for a world record for ticket sales, which we need to do over 63,000. We're currently at 30,000, and the campaign really starts today. This is the first time the two fighters have met and been seen together. It all starts here. So with your help, the media, in publicising this, certainly in the UK it is already an enormous event in the waiting, and we believe that with a fair wind we can get to that figure. The atmosphere will be quite unbelievable. We're expecting a large contingent over from Scandinavia, 4,000 to 5,000 Viking warriors are going to attend. Last time they came, they managed to invade the UK. This time we hope it will be a different result. So let me introduce you to Joe Calzaghe, who will say a few words, and then after that I think Mike is going to introduce Mogens and Mikkel. Joe.
Okay. I say, I'm really happy to be here today. Thanks to Ross and HBO for making this fight happen. For obviously Ed McWarren. It's a fight that I've been asking for the last 12 months. I told everybody I just want to fight the best, and that's what you get for myself against Mikkel Kessler. Okay. So, the best fight the best, and it's great for the super middleweight division. It's great for world boxing. We get a lot of ticketing contests. We get so-called big fights that materialize in Hopkins, Winky Wright, for instance, that turn out to be, well, not really a fight. So, in this fight, you're going to get, two warriors. He's got two belts. I've got two belts. It's going to be a massive fight, and looking forward to it. Back in front of my home crowd. It's going to be an awesome fight, and I'm going to have to be in the best shape of my life to make sure I win this fight. It's all about securing my legacy in boxing. We don't do that by winning easy fights, picking easy fights. You've got to pick the hard fights. To be a great champion, you've got to be great fighters, and I've chosen that in Mikkel. I'm sure come November 3rd, you're going to see possibly fight of the year. I'm going to be in great shape. He's going to be in great shape, and this is the best and #1 fighter in the world. Thanks.
Thanks, Joe. And Mike, can I park you on the microphone there?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Michael Marley, and it's my pleasure and privilege to be here as an advisor to Mogens Pally. He's only been in the boxing business 50 years. In fact, Mogens, who has had so many champions and so many great fighters through the years, will be celebrating his 50th anniversary as a promoter in the tiny country of Denmark, which only has 5 million people. I think Manhattan has more people, but he's kept boxing going for 50 years. November 9th will be the anniversary, and Mogens is more than happy to start celebrating on as soon as the clock strikes midnight for November 4th in Cardiff. The celebration will begin with a Mikkel Kessler victory. I should mention that I think, first of all, HBO deserves all the credit in the world. We want to thank Team Kessler and Mogens Pally. We want to thank Kerry Davis. We want to thank Ross Greenberg. We want to thank Luis Barragan, who have had a vision and have shown faith and interest, not just interest in Mikkel Kessler, because there were other networks that showed interest, but HBO stepped up to the plate. And I think it really says a lot about our sport of boxing that's supposed to be ready for burial a few months ago, that we had this huge fight. As Joe Calzaghe, who's a great fighter, said, it is massive. There'll be 70,000 people in Cardiff, and it's going to be a fight that it already has captured the interest of fans all around the world. And I think that, I'm seated here next to a real Anglophile, my good friend, who I used to work with, and now we're on opposite teams, but a wonderful guy, Jay Larkin, who worked at some other network. I can't recall the name of it. But, he's an Anglophile, but something I wanted to let Jay know that he doesn't know is we can make the argument that, with all due respect to the Welsh Dragon, Joe Calzaghe, that Mikkel Kessler certainly carries not only the Danish flag, the red and white Danish flag, but could also carry the British flag as well, because Mikkel's mother comes from Salisbury, home of the Salisbury steak, and he has a brother that lives in the UK. Having said all that, and again, as Ed Simons so aptly put it, if HBO didn't step to the plate, I doubt that this fight would have happened. But let me step back a little further, because the fact of the matter is that this fight wasn't going to happen unless Mikkel Kessler and Mogens Pally boldly put it down in writing to Frank Warren. I'm sorry that Scarlet Pimpernel's not here today. We miss him dearly, but we'll see enough of Frank soon. I wanted to match his English with Mogen's Danish and see if we could have a debate. But the point being that this fight wouldn't have happened until the day that both Kessler and Pally said, we'll go to the United Kingdom. We'll fight Joe Calzaghe in his home grounds. Some critics have called, it's hard to criticize Joe when you look at his record and the titles he's won in his complete career, but he has been called stay-at-home Joe. And I think this fight underlines that. The fight's in his backyard. Frank Warren had no intention of coming to Denmark, and neither did Frank Warren had no intention of coming to Denmark, and neither did Joe Calzaghe. This fight was really made when the Viking warrior Mikkel Kessler and Mogens Pally agreed to go to the UK. Frank Warren talked about London. He talked about Manchester. We knew all along the fight would be in Cardiff. But as Mikkel says, a ring is a ring is a ring. And you'll see the new golden boy of boxing when he emerges triumphant in a great fight, a great event on HBO, November 3rd at Millennium Stadium in Cardiff, when you see the full talents and the full repertoire of Mikkel Kessler. Thank you.
I'd just like to say that everybody who knows Mike knows sometimes he can be a little economic with the facts, and I'll just leave it at that. He clearly knew it was at the Millennium Stadium before we did, and he's obviously got, Boxing Confidential is alive, well, and kicking. .com, yeah. That's com spelled C-O-M, not C-O-N. Mikkel.
Always also like to say thank you to HBO to be here today. And just want to say I have a great and big respect for Joe Calzaghe. This is a dream come true for me to get this big fight. And of course you always want to fight at the home ground in Denmark, but sometimes you have to go outside. Like I said, the first time I defended my title, I took all the way to Australia to defend it against Anthony Monday. And so I tried to have 50,000 people against me. Of course I know it will be something else in Cardiff. There'll be like 60,000 people or 70. So, but a big respect, and I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm really ready for this fight. As I said, a dream come true. I can feel it. I've trained a lot. You can say that not too much yet, but yes, that's what I want to say. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Mikkel. Well, the only unanimous decision on the table up here is that everybody owes a huge amount of thanks to HBO. So I'm going to pass this on to Ross to say a few words.
I just want to say we're very, very proud to be part of this promotion and to broadcast this fight. Very important, jotting these times down. The fight will start in the United States live on HBO at 5 p.m. on that date of November 3rd. So be sure to put that down. We will rebroadcast it at 10:30 p.m. that same night. But if you want to see it live, 5 p.m., be there on the network. I also want to thank Morgan Powell and Frank Warren and Jay Larkin for bringing this fight to us. They knew we were drooling over the possibility of matching these two great champions, undefeated champions, together in the same ring. They're obviously the two best-looking fighters in the world, but they also pack a very powerful punch. These are two of the best. And when you have the opportunity to broadcast two of the best in the same ring, great things can happen. And I think Joe is right. Sometimes you can just sense when the match of styles is such that you will have an explosive fight that night. I think that is what we have on that night. And I want to thank both fighters for stepping up, because at the end of the day, the two fighters are the ones that have to put their names on the contracts and agree to the fight. So thanks to both, good luck to both, and be there on November 3rd.
Okay, well, we're going to throw it open. Just before we do that, I would like to also, on behalf of Frank and myself and all the sports network, thank Jay Larkin. It's fantastic to see him looking so well. It's amazing to hear working with sports network.